Okay.
Hey everybody, my name is Eric. I'm with Tenkata Guides, based out of Utah. Today we're on the Madison River in Yellowstone, and we've got a hole here that is just perfect for check nymphing. We've already pulled 20 fish out of there, probably more, and we're gonna set up another Tenkata rod for check nymphing and try and see if we can pull a few out. So the first thing that we have is some just really bright line. We're going to use this right at the top. I'm going to start off with a little bit of this green stuff. This is Berkeley Solar Collector Green. I think it's 17 pound, given to me by Chris Stewart. I'm just going to use the same knot that you use to connect any level line. The top, first thing I always do is I tie a little overhand knot. Scrunch that down real nice and tight. Then you do your slip knot. Okay, I'm going to give myself about 1.5 foot ish. That's a little mix there. That's okay. We're going to connect this to another piece of line, so it's going to eat up a little bit of that. Now I always like to do 2 colors. Because if I want to go another depth, it's very nice to be able to tell what depth I'm at. So this is Suffolk Sage Tangerine, 17 pound. I think that's what that says. I'm going to pull off myself another 1.5 foot long piece. Of course, you always get tangles when you mess with this life. So, learn the deal now. Okay, so get myself off a little section. Toss that all to the side. We'll deal with that later. Now I'm going to connect these 2 line to line. And for any line to line knot that I use a Seaguar knot. Just give yourself about 4 to 6 inches of the line parallel to each other. Pinch one side. You're going to make a loop. Stick your finger in the hole. Twist 1, 2, 3 times. Pinch in between. Grab the others. Pull it all the way through. Now you want to make sure that the knot is really nice and not twisted up on itself like it is right now. Okay, so I'm going to moisten that up real good. Pull it real tight. And that is very firmly connected. Pinch off the excess. If I remember right, I've got my micro trash to put it in. Okay, so now we've got our indicator section of the check line. See, it's about 3 feet. This one might be a little bit longer than that. That's okay. Now, next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to start transitioning to fluoro. So I'm actually going to pull off a very short section of 10 pound fluoro. Just to transition down to something smaller. And then we'll tie our line on if I can find where I put it. Of course, I lost it. Where did that? Here we go. Okay. So same knot again, Seaguar knot. Give yourself about 4 to 6 inches. Twist, finger in. All the way through. Moisten. Tighten. Rip off the excess. Bob, give me 4X fluoro. Okay. Alright, so normally we'd want to use 4X fluoro on this, but we're all out of 4X fluoro, so I'm going to use, let's see, I use 4X mono. We can give ourselves about 10 feet. And using fluoro, the reason why you want to use fluoro as opposed to mono is because it has a higher density. It'll cut through the water a little bit better, getting you down to where the fish are. So again, here's another Seaguar knot. The Seaguar knot was actually designed by the Seaguar company for attaching fluoro to mono. So it's perfect for this kind of application. Alright, now that I've got my 10 feet of line at the end of my 3 feet tippet, I'm going to start off and I'm going to tie a very heavy fly onto the end. I'm kind of running out of really heavy flies, so I'm going to find something in here. I've had a lot of luck today with a shop back, which is not a heavy fly, but it's okay. Also having success with killer bugs today. I'm going to get a killer bug. I'm going to tie that on too. This killer bug has a little bit of UV dubbing on it, so it kind of makes it, it gives it that extra little sparkle for the fish to see. Now before I tie these on, I'm actually going to tie another segment of line about 20 inches up. We're going to do a dropper off of that. I've got 5X fluoro for that purpose. I know you guys at home can't see this line at all. Don't feel bad, neither can I. So attach this on with another Seaguar knot. Now this time, I'm going to clip off just the top section of excess. And we can start tying on flies. So I'm going to do the shot back up high because it's kind of like an emerger. It would make more sense for it to be up high on the water column. And the knot that I use to tie on is a Davy knot. Davy knots are very fast, very strong, super easy to tie. Unless you keep messing up. Also going to chop back with the excess. And then let's tie on our fly. Which is the killer bug, the Utah killer bug. With a little bit of UV dubbing on it for extra emphasis. And because we've already run out of our really heavy flies to help get us down, we will be adding split shot to this. So technically, you know, we're not going to be okay for competition, but you know, it's just us, so it doesn't matter. Alright, so in Yellowstone, you can only use non-toxic shot, which we've got some here. I'm going to get the biggest shot that I've got in here. Okay. So get my shot on here. Clamp that down. Okay, so we've got the whole thing on, all tied up now with 2 flies. We're ready to slap this onto the rod. The rod that we use for check nymphing is the Imago. The Imago has a strong backbone, and it's really the only Tenkara USA rod that can handle check nymph. The others, I simply would not recommend. Also, the Imago has a good strong backbone, so when you do get into that big fish, you'll be able to fight it well. Alright, so I'm pulling that tight. I'm going to extend out my rod. Okay, rod is fully extended. You can see I've got almost exactly the rod length. I've got 2 flies on there. I'm going to walk up to the hole and see if we can stick it. And when you cast for check nymphing, you're going to lob it out there and try and keep a real tight line. There we go. There's a fish. Now when I fight this fish, you can see the first thing I did is put the rod up high. I want to put lots of pressure going up on the fish. And I'm kind of putting another hand up here so I can kind of move it around and really want to make sure I got a lot of angle on this fish. And looks like he's coming up fast, grabbing my net, and he's in. So there you go. From a totally collapsed rod, setting up a check nymph, to catching a fish on the Madstone in West Yellowstone.
12 minutes, 15 seconds.
Damn straight.